So many people reach out to me and say, Spencer, what is the very first step in purchasing a home? Many people make the mistake of going on Zillow, Realtor.com, finding a home they love, and then wanting to submit an offer on it. But there's a very, very important first step that you may be missing out on. Going ahead and getting your financing in place first is the very, very first thing that you need to do if you're considering purchasing a home. Without it, you may not get that offer accepted. And today we're going to talk about 3 different things that involve the financing part of purchasing your home. We're going to talk about what a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval is. You've probably heard those terms interchanged. They're very, very different. We're going to dive into what are the top 3 reasons that you need to be pre-approved before you start your home search process. And then finally, we're going to talk about how to actually get pre-approved and what you need to go through that process. Those are 3 things we're going to discuss in this video. If you're considering buying a home, you'll want to pay attention. Let's go ahead and dive in. Alright guys, so first things first, let's talk pre-qualification versus pre-approval. If you have ever bought a home or you're just now starting your home search, you've probably heard these 2 terms before and you've probably heard them used interchangeably. However, they are very, very different. So first off, what is a pre-qualification? A pre-qualification is essentially going to be an estimate in a home price range on what a lender would possibly be able to loan you. So that may sound complex, but it's pretty simple. So you're going to supply a lender with things like how much income you make, what's your debt, you're going to give them your social security number, and they're going to do a soft pull on your credit. They're not going to verify any of your income or your debts, but they're going to give you in a day or two what's known as a pre-qualification letter. That's going to be a letter stating what they possibly would lend you if you actually go through with the home buying process. Now, in no means is this set in stone or a commitment. They're not saying if you go through with this process that they lend you this amount of money. All it's going to do is give you a home value or a price range and what you could be shopping for whenever you're looking for a home. Now, how does that differ from a pre-approval? A pre-approval is going to be a commitment from a lender telling you that if you go through with this process and you want to actually buy a home using that specific lender, this is the amount of money that they would be able to loan you for said house. It's going to be a range, just like that pre-qualification letter. The only difference is this is going to be an actual commitment from that lender of the amount of money they would actually loan you. So why is pre-approval so important, and why is it the first thing that you need to be getting done whenever you're wanting to buy a home and actually start the home buying process? That's going to transition right into the top 3 reasons you need to be pre-approved. Well, number 1, getting pre-approved defines your home search. We see this mistake happen so many times in this industry where people who are thinking about buying a home, the first thing they do is hop on Zillow, Realtor.com, wherever they're searching for that home. They find one that they fall in love with and like a lot. They want to go see it and then submit an offer on it without having financing in place. Well, if you don't have financing in place and you don't have a pre-approval, you really have no idea on what price range you should be shopping in. So let's say that you hop on one of those websites, you find a house that you really like for $250,000, just as an example, but you're only pre-approved for $175,000. Well, you got a pretty big gap in financing there that you're going to have to make up for. And if it's not in your price range, you really are kind of out of luck. You need to be shopping for homes that are in that price range on that pre-approval letter. If you're not pre-approved, you don't know what you can afford. So that's the first step. It defines your home search. Number 2, it shows the seller that you're a confident buyer. So right now the market is crazy. If you have a good house, it's in a good neighborhood and it's priced well, that home is selling typically within the first week, first couple of days, and it has a lot of offers on it. So you're competing with maybe 5, 10, 15 other buyers for that same house. If you don't have a pre-approval letter already established, it's likely that you're going to get beat out by people who already have financing ready to go and in place. And that brings us to number 3, which is one of the most important things on why you need a pre-approval letter, is it prevents letdowns. So let's say that, like I just said, you hop on Zillow, you hop on Realtor, and you find a house that you love. Well, the market's crazy, so there's a lot of buyers you're competing against. And if you don't have a pre-approval, it's likely that that seller is going to go with another buyer that already has financing in place, so that they know that that bank or that lender is going to loan them that amount of money, and they don't have to worry about the actual finance part of it from a buyer's perspective. They don't have to worry that that buyer is not going to be able to actually follow through with the purchase of the home if they can't afford it. So if you find a house that you love on Zillow but you don't have the pre-approval process done, I don't want you to get let down, if you submit an offer on that house that you actually really, really like, but you don't have financing ready to go, so you get beat out by other buyers who already have it ready. Those are the three most important reasons on why you need to get pre-approved first and have your financing in place before you ever actually start searching for a home. Now, how do you actually go about getting pre-approved? Well, it's actually a pretty simple process. The first thing you're going to do is talk with a lender. This could be a mortgage broker, somebody who works with a bunch of different lenders and could give you options on loans, things like that. It could be your bank that you use, like if you bank at Wells Fargo or Regions, for example, you could go to your bank and talk to them about getting pre-approved. Regardless of who you go with, pick a lender. The process is going to pretty much be the same. They're going to get information like your social security number. They're going to get your income, your employment, and then they're going to verify that all the information is correct. So once you submit those documents over, you're going to have to probably submit bank statements, tax returns. They're going to do a hard pull on your credit to ensure that you have a good credit score. So if you have maybe some accounts in collections, or if you have a lot of hard pulls on your credit history, maybe talk to someone who does credit repair to get that stuff lined up before you ever start this process. But in general, the pre-approval process is the same. You're going to submit information over to a lender. It's going to take a day or two to hear back from them, and then they're going to present you with, like I said originally, that pre-approval letter, which will show you what you would actually be able to afford to purchase a home. So getting your financing in place first. I always say whenever people come to me and ask, Spencer, what is the first step in the home buying process? Get financing lined up. Get the pre-approval letter. Avoid making the mistakes that many people make in looking at homes that they fall in love with without having this in place. And you'll avoid having letdowns and having offers that continuously not get accepted. So go to your lender, get a pre-approval. Here's the reasons why, and this is exactly what you need to actually get pre-approved. Hopefully this provides you guys some value if you're in your home search process. Give me a call. Would love to help you out. But hopefully you just got value from the video. We will see you guys in the next one.